while we're talking about the opposition, there were some valid issues during the campaign, no? The human rights, the topics of governance. What are the options for the opposition? I mean, Bato de la Rosa won handily.
Yes.
I mean, that's a message from the electorate, no?
Two data points that I'll use. March, 90% approval rating on the war on drugs.
Yes.
So it just shows that, except for the killings of the suspect, which turns opposite kagad na, they're against it. That means people saw it as a successful law and order program of the government. That's why Bato de la Rosa was carried to victory for that. Then you're the opposition making the president your target, and he's not a candidate. And you made him a candidate by attacking him. But he ended up, in March, instead of losing steam, even went up to 87%. So that means the voters were not listening to you. The voters were not listening. And normally, that's how campaigns are. This is not about voter education.
Where does that leave the Liberal Party? Where does that leave their leadership? And specifically, Leni Robredo. Where does this leave all of them?
VP Leni now needs to define herself to the electorate beyond as an alternative to President Duterte, but as an alternative in 2022.
But that assumes that she has the
that's right.
drive
She
and
has
the appetite
declared
for
that this is destiny.
Yes.
And,
but I've heard that from politicians. It's destiny, but polls are running. PR consultants are hired and interviews daily. But it's destiny.
So destiny will certainly run.
Yes.
I think there's no answer for the opposition right now. I think they're all going back to the drawing boards, soul searching, because they ran a spirited campaign, let's face it. For those of us who understood it and looked closely at it, they ran a cause-oriented, a strong campaign. But a campaign, Dindo was saying, from a strategic or tactical point of view, attacked the president too much, no? And differentiation messaging was not very clear on all points, no? Plus, let's face it, not all of the candidates were quite compelling or as entertaining as some of the other candidates who ran, no? And then, I'll not go to that, no?
Like for example, Bong Revilla. Imagine how he's just barely making it.
Yes.
Yeah.
If the opposition attacked Bong Revilla,
Oh, they could have
they could have brought him
wrangled
down.
that seat
So
from
Then
you
as
mean they should have attacked individual
Yes.
candidates?
Then they get their seats there. That's when they use their Senate seats.
So tama pala si Presidente. He was actually attacking
Bringing them down.
individual
Yeah, bringing
members
them
of
down.
the
Yeah.
Ocho Directo.
That's why when he attacked, the president attacked Grace Poe, I think she was avoiding that this lady senator will be number one. But when you look at the story of how he attacked, Grace Poe, not her percept, but the Public Service Committee did not give that emergency power because DOTR cannot provide a program for where the budget is. But he was turning it as if this person,
Kasalanan niya.
kasalanan niya.
Okay.
So he was, but aside from that, of course, he bombed din, di ba? Was parang ina-attack with the Aquino name or even after a while, Mar Rojas. So individual. But siya, alam niyang hindi magba-backfire. He's not a candidate. And he has a strong constituency behind him. So he was taking that risk. So he was more strategic than the opposition.
So
Despite
yung
the
dagdag pala niya
perception.
na 2 hours of speaking because
he was
destroying everyone.
He was destroying
worked.
candidates.
master strategist pala siya. But going back to the question of Robbie, no, what does the future hold for Liberal Party?
The future.
It's the redemption for them as an opposition
there's always,
force.
there's still 4 of them in the Senate, and I think there's still a couple of them in the House, no? And so, while the opposition is going to suffer under this kind of president, no? This president is extremely popular, and he's built a political machine that has been tested in this midterm election, consolidated his vote in Mindanao. This guy has everything, all the cards in his own game. So he's worked out a roadmap for legislative and governance consensus. So the opposition has to regroup and rethink their strategy of attacking the president. And I guess I'm there with Dindo. No? There is a way of constructively engaging this administration on areas where they have common agreement, and constructively critiquing where. And I think the cue can be taken from Leni Robredo, although she's not as popular as she hopes she could be. Her endorsement power doesn't exist, okay? But she has still remained relevant because she's still calibrating her messaging.
Yes.
And I think the opposition has to do that. Instead of attacking the president head-on and cantankerous,
Pero
contentious
baliktad
politics.
yun nangyari. It was as if it was the opposition that prevailed upon Leni Robredo to take on this
But
mode of
she-
being more aggressive
I don't know
and
if you've
being more
noticed,
in
she
the
faded.
tangod.
She
Yeah.
was
Ah,
actually
exactly.
reluctant.
And her performance rating went up.
Exactly.
Well, that's why.
think
the-
So
I
that's
think,
a-
I think it's a strategy. They will deny it, but if you've noticed, there are a lot of campaigns that she was doing it on her own. Ocho Derecho was moving,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but totally different from the first 30 days of the
Yeah.
campaign.
But that sounds counterintuitive. She keeps quiet and then her performance rating goes up.
Because
That's
if you've noticed her performance rating, the moment she started attacking the president
She
and
went
resigned
down.
from cabinet, she went down.